Good evening and welcome to Chaos at London. Tonight we're joining the orphan mage and self-taught, I guess pseudo hermetic at this point, Michaelis, as he has been directed to bring some texts and follow along to a hermetic century, as he's recently discovered that the hermetic order was not destroyed as he believed, although it seems that perhaps some of the knowledge he has from the texts doesn't sync with the current state of the hermetic. So that being said, he is going to follow wherever he is supposed to follow. And hopefully survive at this point. This Carnifex fellow seems to have a couple of strong opinions.
So, you guys are in Carnifex knows where you're going, so it's difficult to make your way to the Hermetic Exchange, which is just kind of an unassuming building, like a regular kind of looking regular apartment looking building.
Okay.
Once you go in, there's a person sitting there at the desk, a woman, who will look up at Carnifex and say, "You know the way in."
Yep. He's with me.
I assumed so. It'll be a little doorway. It's marked as employees only that Carnifex knows to go through. And once you guys get in there, it is kind of laid out like a common university building would be. There's a bunch of like classrooms and study rooms and libraries and whatnot. The person in charge, the adult major, his office is at the end of the hall that you guys are looking at.
He looks at Michaelis and he says, "Do not speak until spoken to."
Yeah, he just kind of looks around but nods his head.
Don't touch anything.
He's got his books in both hands.
And don't smart off.
Yeah. Nods again.
And he Carnifex knocks on the door the requisite amount of times to not activate the destructive wards that will kill him.
Fair enough. A voice will come from inside saying, "Come in."
Carnifex walks in and goes, "Sir."
Like, hello, Carnifex. Who is this you brought with you?
He has no name among us.
I see. So why have you brought him here?
He probably like one. At least he thinks he does.
A potential member, then?
That's not for me to say, sir.
He'll turn his attention to Kalis and say, "So what do you call yourself?"
Yeah. Kind of considers the question a little bit before he looks at him. Before he responds.
What was that saying?
He says, Blackthorn.
It's nice to meet you, Blackthorn. I'm a Dep Major. I'm not going to say Dep Major, sorry. I am William. Name on the fly, sorry guys. William Jameson, the Order of Hermes.
Yeah. Says my given name.
Stop. Blackthorn's enough.
So,
He just kind of nods.
So, Blackthorn, what do you know about all of this?
Yeah. Starts with the text that he's got. Kind of holds them up, and they're older books. They've been damaged, recovered from ruins. And he says, only what these books have taught me and what I've been able to puzzle out from there.
Do you mind if I look at them and I'll like point at the books?
And he would hand them to him.
I'll start kind of flipping through them. It's kind of
They would be, I mean, they're old texts from an destroyed house Didenate Chantry, so nothing is even remotely accurate anymore since it's been.
He just kind of through them and flips through a few pages of one of them, then sets it to the side and says, so the information you have is a bit outdated.
That's what I've been given to understand.
Have you been told of any new information, or has it been kept a secret thus far?
I have been given some vague details. Help me better understand the current political lay of the land. Lest I make further misstep.
Understandable. Are you interested in joining the Order of Hermes?
I'm afraid I don't exactly know what the Order of Hermes is. As you mentioned, my information is exactly accurate.
The Order of Hermes is an order of survivors. We follow the old ways, but we're not afraid to update our personal methods should we need to. We do believe in the old style of magic, not the new, newfangled technology that the technocracy believes in, or to a lesser extent, our tradition makes the Etherites and the virtual adept. And even when we do modernize, it still has see the old ways. Does that make sense?
I think it does. However, I wish to clarify that we mean the same thing. We use the term old ways.
What do you mean by the old ways?
He'll gesture to the books because the old ways are the blend of divine geometry and organic, natural, and spiritual elements. The earth itself is a great life is a circle. The elements are simply words we use to represent things, creatures, essences even.
That is similar. Ours are the ways of high ritual, following Solomon as an example, seals, all of that. What one would consider a classical wizard, I suppose. While spirits have their part to play, of course, it is not the main focus for most of us.
At that statement, Carnifex raises his eyebrow.
Yes, Carnifex.
Nothing, sir.
He'll nod and say, are there any questions you have, Blackthorn?
Well, as you've told me, the order my information is outdated. The order, as I studied it, was in particular the host Didne that dealt with the Fey folk, with the spirits of the land. They were the druids of the old world. And I'm given to understand they no longer hold the responsibility of interacting with the Fey. I wish to understand a little bit more of the differences from my outdated knowledge and the current knowledge.
House Diane, holding on all phrases. Mistakes were made. We'll put it that way. No one's had much contact with the house in recent times. And as for the Fae, we try our best to not anger them and stay out of their way.
I see. And what is it you might look for in one who is a prospective member? As you already established, my methods perhaps differ from ethical based on a archaic set of practices. Yes, I am.
Sorry.
At that point, I am concerned that perhaps I may not be a good fit if I am reflective of things that, as you mentioned, included mistakes being made, things that are not current or applicable. It would not behoove me to enter as one who is not only not an asset but a liability.
We look for those who are willing to change their ways, willing to change everything they know about how the world works, and have a strong enough will to make the world work that way.
I see. Not sure it's much difficulty to make the world work a certain way. It's far more difficult to make it want to work that way. Any arrogant fool can enforce and inflict his will. That doesn't behoove anyone. It doesn't gain anything. But to bring another to your will, to bring the world to reflect you willingly, seems to me it would be a far more beneficial trait, would it not?
Nope.
Any kind of fiction?
He said nope.
Would you like to explain Carnifex?
Our will be done. If it was the way we wanted it, we would need no magic. Now, would we?
I guess perhaps I need to think on this a bit, because I recognize some of the merit and the logic there. But it runs contrary to me.
Rule one: medics don't think, or perhaps you do it or you don't.
And if one wants to chop down a tree, are they further ahead to use a hammer or a sharp edge?
Tree falls down doesn't matter because you want the tree down.
I see.
You keep saying natural world. You keep saying DNA. That's not come from his own will. You can go anywhere, learn how the world works. That's not the problem. It may work the way you want it. That's medicine. You take your understanding and you'll be fine. But you want it. Well, then,
He is correct. How you do something is not the important thing. What's important is whether you succeed or you fail. And if you should fail, whether you take the lessons from that failure.
Now, if you want to go and be all part of the natural world and the natural way things are, you can go down the river and you go have fun with that. You want to make shit happen, get shit done, you can stand this.
My concern is that the way of the natural world is out there to be tapped into. It's just as a man might build a water wheel or a windmill to harness part of the natural world. A source of power can be used, but it should also be respected.
How do we go century to respect ourselves, to respect everybody around us? Not somebody that's how you get there. Because you control it, don't mean you don't respect it.
Yeah. I can understand some of that, although to me, even something that is controlled should still be respected. One does not harness lightning without respect for the power that lightning represents.
Although so much damage you can do, not that it's more powerful than yours.
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, Marcus. You're kind of muffled.
I'm sick. Right? Check the side chat, yeah.
Well, that is true of any power, is it not? How much power you let it have over you is not the same as how much power it has.
The opponent has as much power as you let it have. Your will above all things.
He looks at him and he sets down a single acorn from his pocket and he says, "But as above, so below." Must recognize that equal strength must exist at the root if it is to be strong above.
The only difference is that your will has to be the same strength as everything else, or more powerful than everything. You don't believe that, it doesn't work. No force, no spirit, no anything stronger than your will. You cannot be done. You done.
There is, I think, merit to that. Although it is not necessarily my own logic, that does not mean I disagree with it either. I recognize the worth to it.
That's the basis. That's only the basis. Beyond that, there are different paths, but we all believe that, no matter what you go with.
But you would agree that one's will can be applied in many different ways. Need not always be applied simply through force.
No one in the group that I belong to believes that.
And if you would have me join, if I were to join with your order, what would the order in turn expect of me?
To learn how to enforce your will. Just fight for what we believe in. Return of the old ways. Back when imagination was allowed in the world. To remove the technocracy from the place of power that they have.
That seems fairly logical. And I assume to do this, there'll be turn offered opportunity to expand upon my sources of information. And he'll gesture to his books.
Of course. You can. I think you're saying it's difficult to learn when you're not given the proper teaching materials.
That would, I think, be a fair statement.
There's even a small group among us who still have ties to the kingdom.
I think the Order and I have things that perhaps don't exactly mesh, but I think we have more in common, even if mine is, as you say, outdated.
This phrase,
I think what the Order is now and the Order I learned may not be the same thing. but I think there's positives to both that perhaps can be brought together. You see, you have not.
You're going to have to learn to speak with the authority and assurance.
Said that the host died in mistakes were made and that not much is known of them now. I take from that they are not currently involved with the order in any way.
Well, our true history is to become one of us.
You ask if I want to become one of you. Yet I have studied and practiced the ways of a part of you that you say is gone.
I never said they were gone. Neither did you.
Not present.
That can mean anything.
Good. But what exactly would that mean for me then? What position do I put myself in if I join with you, only to find out later that they are not present because they are at odds, or they are hunted? Do I make myself a target?
I can assure you that none of those things are true.
And the other matter that I don't believe was brought up is my relationship to the courts, and whether that will be a problem.
So you
I know you're aware of it, but how might it impact people's my place here?
there's
Is being affiliated with this other group going to limit my opportunities, for example?
I can assure you it will do nothing but increase it.
Then I don't see any reason not to join. You're not going to restrict me based on my past experience, my outdated and or foreign knowledge, or my ties to other affiliations. You're going to give me the opportunity to develop and be a part of your organization. The opportunity to be more than what I am as well. And you've already shown respect and recognizing at least where I come from, even if it is not in agreement with your views or thoughts. I think, well, I bring different views. I can bring the core of what the order is looking for, simply with a different face to it, as it were.
Contrary to popular belief, there are many faces to the Order of Hermes. much as there may be faces to Hermes himself.
Well, that would make some sense. There are many faces to many things considered divine. What exactly do you require of me to finalize this agreement we have made? Are there any sort of initiation rites I should be prepared for?
You need a mentor.
There are. It's not very common that one joins the Order of Hermes already awakened.
I see.
For now, we will match you with a Mata or Pater who can teach you our ways until such time as you can be properly initiated.
He nods his head and says, "The texts I brought today are the originals. I have handwritten transcripts of them for my personal use. Those are, I will not say valuable, but important to me, but not irreplaceable. I do not object to them being included here as it seems appropriate. However, I may have to reference them directly from time to time."
Of course, when you are initiated, you'll have full access to our libraries.
Does your facility here have any sort of gardens by chance? Outdoor growing spaces?
Go think for a second. Yes, I believe there's a small greenhouse. It's ran by some of the some members.
I'd ask opportunity as well then to work with them as my use of herbs and poultices is essential.
Many practices are observed.
I will be curious to see who it is you feel is the best appropriate pairing to teach me,
Oh,
as I have come to see hermetics are not exactly what I thought they were. It will be a learning experience. Bless you.
I will have to think on it for now, given we just met. but then I'll get with you. And like,
he takes out um, uh, uh, like a calligraphy type, like a little, almost like a blank business card, a note card type, and says, "I'd be happy to provide you with contact information in the meantime."
yes, please.
He writes down a phone number, um, as well as a mailing address, like a post box type, and then just the word Blackthorn. He gestures to the acorn. He says, "I would ask that be planted should space here be available."
I'll kind of raise an eyebrow that they'll take the acorn and the note card. And they'll also hand you a business card and say, this is the number for the chantry. The person who answers will be able to redirect you to my office should you need to speak to me.
Thank you.
Now, are there any other matters I need to be made aware of? And he'll look between the two of you.
Other than, no, sir.
Other than what?
He's asking us, is he here?
I don't believe so, no.
If he was, would you tell me?
There's only one way to find that out.
Motion.
If there's nothing else you should require of me, I have some research I need to do.
Kayla says, "Thank you for your time."
Of course.
Yeah, Carnifex, he puts his hand on Achilles' shoulder and he says, exit just like I do. Okay?
He just looks at him and nods. "Yes, sir."
When he leaves, just leave the right way.
Okay.
And Achilles will pay careful attention to duplicate that.
Okay. The head man will close the door behind you guys. And is there anything else you guys want to do?
Not really, though.
You got anything there?
I don't really think so. I think I mean, we were handling that other stuff already kind of in Blue Book, so
Yeah.
that's kind of the only other thing I had going on at this point, till that gets resolved.
Okay. Guess we can end it there. Thank you, players, for playing. Thanks, future watchers, for watching. It's been another episode. Yeah, another episode of Chaos in London.